we shall start our discussion today on this particular topic, that is the net positive suction head. You know that we have talked about the cavitation in the context of the operation of pump, and we have discussed about this particular term, that is net positive suction head, when cavitation was discussed in the context of the pump operation. So, similarly, when we are talking about the operation of hydraulic turbine, we shall discuss about this particular term, and we have seen from the previous class, discussion from the previous class, that the hydraulic turbines are also expected to have, rather hydraulic turbines are also prone to the cavitation, provided the system design is not done perfectly. So, keeping that in mind, that cavitation may occur even in the operation or even during the operation of hydraulic turbine, we should discuss about this particular term in greater detail. So, before going to discuss about the net positive suction head and the cavitation, this is not a desirable phenomena at all, but we should see that probably by having a suitable design of the turbine unit, it is possible to reduce the probability of having cavitation. So, we have discussed about one important component, one important as well as essential component for the turbine unit is the draft tube. So, we have discussed about draft tube, and we have seen that if this is the point 1 and this is point 2 and this is tail race level. So, and if this point is 3, we could write that, rather we could write the pressure P2 by rho g, pressure head at point 2 is nothing but Z plus, it can be written V2 square minus V3 square by 2g minus H draft tube loss. This particular term also can be written draft tube efficiency into V2 square minus V3 square divided by 2g. So, this is what we have seen in the last class, that the pressure head at point 2. So, this is pressure at point 2. Pressure head at point 2. What we can see from this particular expression is that the Z basically, that if I try to discuss about Z, so this is the Z. So, we have seen that this particular component is responsible to set the turbine above the tail race level. So, we can set the turbine above the tail race level only because of this particular component, that is draft tube. In addition to that, since this draft tube is an important and essential component of the turbine unit, the entire unit can be operated with a relatively higher efficiency, provided this component is there. So, had this component not been there, it would not have been possible to operate this unit with such a high efficiency. So, you understand that that, so if Z, so basically you try to understand, today we shall discuss about a few important points, that So, Z is basically a non-zero quantity. So, if we try to increase Z, what will happen, you know, that more will be negative pressure head at point 2. So, that is more or good suction condition. So, I am writing higher the Z or eta dt, good will be this, suction condition will be more and more good. Suction condition will be better, right. So, you try to understand, but at the cost of having a relatively better suction condition, probably we are going to invite several other problems. Which are those? So, by increasing Z, what we can do? We can set the turbine, you know, above the tail race level. If we increase Z, it is possible to increase or set the turbine at a sufficiently, you know, higher level from the tail race level, right. Also, if we can increase eta dt, that is draft tube efficiency, we can increase P2Z, of course negative. So, more will be the suction condition, but in reality we cannot do so. So, neither we can increase Z drastically, nor we can look for an efficient draft tube, though it is expected to have better suction condition, but it will be having several other problems. You know, if I write this particular, you know, that net head across the turbine, this quantity can be written is nothing but, I mean, I am just rewriting the expression that we have written in the last class, that is nothing but, you know, P1 by rho g V1 square by 2g plus Z minus V2 square by 2g plus eta dt V2 square minus V3 square by 2g. So, you can understand, if we increase Z or if we increase eta dt. So, either by increasing Z or by increasing eta dt, we can increase the net head which could be made available across the turbine. So, higher the net head, higher will be the efficiency. Even then we cannot increase Z or eta dt beyond a certain value. Why? So, now we will be discussing those. See, try to understand, if we go back to the previous slide, higher the Z or higher the eta dt, negative or suction pressure head at point 2 will be more. See, the point 2, that is the runner exit or it is the draft tube inlet. So, higher the negative head at point 2, higher will be the better will be the operation, but we cannot. See, now this fellow, if we try to mark using red color, so this fellow is also very important. If we allow pressure to fall below the vapor pressure at the prevailing temperature, rather at that prevailing temperature, we have seen that we really cannot stop initiating the boiling, local boiling. So, basically, you know, the pressure at point 2 should not fall below the vapor pressure at the operating temperature of the turbine. So, basically at the operating temperature of the working fluid of the turbine, to be precise. So, you know, the pressure at point 2 at that thermodynamic condition, that is temperature, should not fall below the vapor pressure. If it the case, then we really cannot avoid that undesirable phenomena that is called cavitation. So, basically if we need to keep P2 by rho g within that restricted limit, we cannot neither we can increase Z nor we can increase eta dt. So, today we shall discuss about that particular aspect and then we will go to the cavitation. So, see, try to understand, draft tube is an important and essential component for the turbine operation. Why? Because it allows recovery of the kinetic energy by arresting the velocity head, okay. And it is because of this reason we have seen that the net head across the turbine can be increased. So, net head which could be made available across the turbine will increase. If it is higher, then efficiency will be higher. So, question is, we cannot increase P2 by rho g. If we increase either Z or eta dt, maybe efficiency will increase, but we are trying to reach closer to that particular undesirable effect to be initiated, that is cavitation. So, this draft tube, the placing the draft tube in a way also responsible for, rather I can say, placing the draft tube and its suitable design is very important for the trouble free operation of the turbine unit. Okay. So, the draft tube is important for the smooth operation of the turbine unit, for the efficient operation of the turbine unit. At the same time, it is responsible for the trouble free operation of the turbine unit, because if we fail to design it suitably, we are going to invite that undesirable phenomenon, that is called cavitation. So, now considering that in mind, the draft tube design. So, draft tube are mostly conical type. So, it may be either or it may be cylindrical type. Okay. So, either it is conical type or it is of cylindrical type, but the cylindrical type is of no use because it is very difficult to have, it is not possible to have recovery of the kinetic energy. Okay. So, cylindrical type or conical type. So, since it is very difficult to have recovery of the kinetic energy if we use cylindrical type, that is why this conical type is used mostly. So, basically you know that if I go to the next slide. So, cylindrical type is not of use because it is the cylindrical type will not facilitate to have recovery of the kinetic energy. Considering that the mostly it is most of the draft tubes are of conical type, and since from the geometry itself we have seen that the draft tube is of this particular shape. Okay. And this angle is 2 theta, which is from 18 degree to 18 degree. Now, this is called cone angle. So, the draft tube should be of diffuser type, conical, diffuser type, right. So, this is very important that it would be conical and diffuser type. So, you try to understand that this cone angle is kept within this particular limit. Why? So, try to understand this P2 by rho g equal to minus Z plus eta draft tube into V2 square minus V3 square by 2g. Now, there are two issues. So, the endeavor of the designer should be to design the draft tube taking those two issues into account. So, the criteria are it should not be too too large. So, if Z is high, it should be too large. So, the drop tube should not be very large and higher efficiency can be obtained if the frictional loss is less, right. So, you know from the definition itself, if we can minimize this fellow, then perhaps the efficiency will be more. So, you know that efficiency is also related to the frictional loss. Higher the length of the drop tube, higher will be the frictional loss, and also cone angle will not be large. Okay. So, why these two? So, the endeavor of the designer should be, the design endeavor should be to consider these two issues into account. Otherwise, if we do not consider these two aspects, these two issues into account while designing the drop tube, it may not be that much efficient. So, if it becomes very large, then frictional losses will be high. If the frictional losses is very high, efficiency of the drop tube will be small. If efficiency of the drop tube is small, perhaps the net head that could be available across the turbine will reduce. So, efficiency will not be very large also, because it may reduce the pressure at point 2 below the vapor pressure. On the other hand, efficiency should not be very low as well, otherwise the net head that could be made available across the turbine will be reduced. So, we should have a compromise between these two issues, and that is guided by the loss or frictional loss, which in turn, which essentially depends on the height or length of the drop tube. Also, the cone angle should not be very large. You know that if it becomes very large, perhaps you know from your fluid mechanics knowledge that our objective is to essentially arrest the velocity head, so that you know this fellow will be reduced, you know V2 should be V2 is very large. So, this quantity should be very large. This quantity can be, this quantity will be very large provided eta dt is very large or this is very large, right. So, you know that if V3 is very less, then we can increase this. So, V3 is very less means the kinetic energy should be completely arrested. So, if it is the case, you know that we should have a confinement, and in the direction of flow area will increase. So, we would like to have a very small V3. So, at the outlet of the drop tube velocity would be almost equal to 0. If it could be made possible within a given length and provided. So, I mean if you would like to have very small V3 for a given length, then definitely the cone angle will increase. But if cone angle increases, you know, you have studied from your from fluid mechanics subject that it will lead to the formation of eddies, flow will separate. So, higher the cone angle, flow will separate from the wall of the drop tube and it will lead to the formation of eddies, vortices. So, again this will reduce the efficiency of the drop tube. So, you try to understand, it is very nice to see that efficiency of the drop tube will have an optimum value. It will not be maximum, it will not be minimum. If it becomes minimum, net head available to the across the turbine will be reduced. So, efficiency of the plant will reduce. If it become maximum, efficiency can be maximized, but at the cost of that increase in efficiency, perhaps we are going to invite another problem, that is the cavitation. So, P2 will reduce, and if it goes below the vapor pressure at that particular temperature of the working fluid, cavitation will occur, and this is not a desirable phenomenon at all. So, these two aspects should be taken into account, that cone angle should not be very large and this is the recommended cone angle, that is 8 to 18 degree, and the length will not be very large. So, you know what we can see from this discussion is that, you know, a compromise has to be effected, right, between the necessity of having good suction condition and the efficient draft tube. So, good suction condition, that is P2 by rho g should be small, but it should not be smaller than the vapor pressure. On the other hand, efficient draft tube, that is eta d should be high. So, a compromise has to be effected between the necessity of having an efficient draft tube, at the same time good suction condition, and that is why the design of draft tube is important, and it is made of conical shape, but the cone angle is kept in this range. Sometimes you know that length, if length is so high, I mean sometimes it may, you know, essential that the length of the draft tube should be high. Velocity at the end of the draft tube is not a criteria. In that case, if the length is very high, you know, then draft tube is you know, we can use elbow type draft tube. So, you know, I can write here, when length needs to be large, then elbow type draft tube is used, right. So, this is very important. So, instead of a straight tube, we can use elbow type draft tube. So, when length needs to be very high and velocity at the exit, velocity of water at exit of the draft tube is not the final criterion, in that case the elbow type draft tube is used. Okay. So, with this we next move to discuss about the important part is that cavitation. What you have understood, that this P2 by rho g should not fall below the vapor pressure at the prevailing temperature of the working fluid. So, it is an important statement that you should keep in mind, otherwise what will happen, you know, that you cannot stop cavitation. So, let us quickly solve one problem from the cavitation, and then we will move to the, let us quickly solve one problem from the draft tube, and then we will move to the cavitation part. Okay. So, problem 1, numerical problem is that Kaplan turbine discharges 20 meter cube per second through a draft tube having inlet diameter equal to 2 meter and exit diameter equal to 3 meter. The draft tube inlet is at a height of 4 meter above the tail race level, above the tail race level. So, this is tail race level. Okay. Efficiency of the draft tube is given as 90%. We have to calculate head loss across the draft tube and suction head. So, basically this is the problem statement. You can see a Kaplan turbine, that is an axial flow reaction turbine, discharges 20 meter cube per second through a draft tube having inlet diameter 2 meter and exit diameter 3 meter. The draft tube inlet is at a height of 4 meter above the TRL. Efficiency of the draft tube is given 90%. We have to calculate suction head, that is P2 by rho g, that is at the inlet to the draft tube, and also the head loss across the draft tube. So, if we quickly solve this problem, I mean first what we need to do, we need to draw the schematic depiction. So, this is the draft tube. Okay. So, this is tail race level, you know that this point, say this is the point 2 and this is the point 3, okay. And this is basically Z. As we have discussed that the difference, height difference between point 1 and point 2 is not very high. So, this is point 1. So, we are trying to solve the problem. Okay. So, you can understand. So, velocity at the inlet of the draft tube, velocity at the inlet to the draft tube, this is C2 is equal to 20 divided by pi by 4 into 2 square, and it is coming as 6.369 meter per second. So, this is the discharge, Q divided by pi by 4 into D inlet square, that is 2 meter square, and similarly you can calculate exit velocity C3 equal to 20 divided by pi by 4 into 3 square, and it is coming as 2.83 meter per second. So, you can understand that our objective of having this draft tube was to kill the kinetic energy, kinetic head, and that you can see. So, basically we should arrest the velocity, we should reduce, we should kill the velocity. So, you can see that from 6.369 meter per second, that is the velocity of water at the exit of the runner. So, we can reduce that velocity from 6.3 meter to 2.83 meter. So, that amount of energy could be made, you know, recovered. Okay. So, so that this it is because of this reduction in velocity we can recover that using draft tube. Okay. So, next what we do, what we can do, we can apply steady flow energy equation between section. So, steady flow energy equation between sections 2 and 3. I could have written that applying Bernoulli equation between point 2 and 3, but still I am writing steady flow energy equation, that is the, you know, there is a subtle difference between these two equations. Bernoulli equation can be applied between any 2 points, whereas steady flow energy equation can be applied between any sections. So, we are applying. Now, we can write it. So, you know that we can write that C2, we can write that V2 square by 2g P2 by rho g plus z equal to V3 square by 2g, right, minus h dTl, because this is open to atmosphere, right. So, this is V3 square by 2g. From there we can write, so this is equation 1. Now, we can go to the next slide. Eta draft tube equal to V2 square minus V3 square by 2g minus h dt divided by V2 square minus V3 square by 2g. Okay. So, from there you know that V2 square minus V3 square by 2g, if we calculate it, it will be coming as 1.659 meter, right. So, this is 1.659 meter, because we know V2, we know V3 from the previous slide. So, we know, so let me write it V2 instead of C2, I can write it V2 and V3. So, V2 V3. Okay. Now, putting the value of V2 and V3, we get this is the ideal gain in, so this is basically ideal kinetic energy recovery. Okay. Now, we know this. So, eta dt is 0.9. So, 1.659 minus h dt L divided by 1.659. From there we can calculate h dt L equal to 0.1659 meter of water column. Okay. So, this is the h dt L. Now, if we use equation 1, we need to know what is P2 by rho g. Okay. So, P2 by rho g, so using equation 1, we can write minus P2 by rho g will be equal to V2 square minus V3 square by 2g plus z minus h dt L. See, why I am writing in this form minus P2 by rho g, because this is suction pressure. So, this is nothing but 1.659. So, what we need to do, so this is plus 4 minus 0.1659. So, if we calculate it, it will be coming as 5.4931 meter. So, this is the suction pressure. So, this is very easy problem, since if we have understood the analysis part correctly, then we can easily solve this problem. So, I have written minus P2 by rho g only to make sure that this is the suction pressure. So, this is, otherwise if you calculate P2 by rho g, it will come negative. So, basically pressure at point 2 is suction pressure. Okay. So, this is the problem. Now, quickly we can go to the next part, that is cavitation. So, that is cavitation. So, if we try to draw the runner, this is TRL. So, this is, say, I mean that we can take one particular point. So, this is the point. So, this point is HE, and we are taking one particular point, that is exit of the drop tube. So, this is point 3, and we are taking one point, that is, say, this is 2. So, BC you know that liquid is coming in this form. So, if I quickly draw it, so you know liquid is coming in this direction. Okay. So, this is basically I have drawn the runner and draft tube. So, basically what I will be doing, I will try to apply the energy balance in the suction side. So, if we give the name point E, right, and if we try to write energy balance at point E and the point at the draft tube exit. So, say this point E3 is located H naught below the TRL. So, E is the point, right, that is called at the runner, and 3 is the point which is H naught distance below the TRL. So, this is what we are trying to do. We really do not know, we have seen point 2, that is the suction pressure. Now, we are taking one particular point E, and if we try to do energy balance between these 2 points, point E and 3 taking TRL as datum. So, if we write that energy balance between points E and 3 taking TRL as datum. What we can write? We can write P by rho g plus V square by 2 plus H e equal to say P3 by rho g and C3 square by 2 g plus H draft tube loss. So, this is the energy balance equation I can write. So, I am taking this point 3 is H naught distance below the TRL, and this H naught, you know that this point 3 is very close to TRL, but I am taking the distance H naught. So, we can write this is the energy balance equation, that is steady flow energy equation. So, what we can do, you know that this V, I mean instead of writing V, if I write the equation further, we can write that P by rho g plus V2 square by 2 g plus H e equal to P3 by rho g plus V3 square by 2 g plus H DTL, sorry, minus H DTL, If I have done mistake, oh, so I have written plus H DTL. So, it is plus H DTL. I am considering that the point 3 is very close to TRL. So, I am not going to consider this height. So, as if you know that draft tube exit, I am writing draft tube exit is very close to TRL. Okay. So, I am not going to consider this small height H naught. If we write it, if we can write it here, that means we have written V equal to V2. So, that means velocity of water leaving the runner is taken to be equal to the velocity of water entering the draft tube. Okay. So, velocity of water leaving the runner is taken to be equal to the velocity of water entering the draft tube. So, that is why I have written. So, now see, we really do not know, and that is what is very often considered. So, you know that if we go to the previous slide, this point E and point 2, these 2 points are so close that I mean we can consider V equal to V 2, and that is very often considered. So, now we really do not know where this cavitation will occur. Maybe if we consider another point very close to point E, where that minimum pressure will occur, right. We have considered point T which is inside the runner, I mean very close to the to the exit of the runner, but now we can consider the point where minimum pressure will occur. So, the point where minimum pressure will occur is just inside the runner and very close to point E, but towards the exit, towards runner exit, towards the exit of runner. So, we really do not know where minimum pressure will occur. If the minimum pressure is less than the vapor pressure, then only cavitation will start. So, now we have considered that P2. So, now we are considering E. So, just in a generic form we are doing this energy balance approach. We really do not know whether the minimum pressure will occur at A, minimum pressure will occur at point E or minimum pressure will occur at point 2, we really do not know. So, to have this generic expression, what we can assume? We assume that the point at which the pressure will be minimum is very inside the runner, close to point T, but towards the exit of the runner. So, somewhere in between point T and point 2. Okay. So, that is what we are assuming. Now, if it is the case, now see this P minimum by rho g, right, will be equal to where the minimum pressure will occur. So, I mean let me tell you, if I go to the previous slide, so the minimum point, the point at which pressure will be minimum, which is close to point T towards the exit of the runner, but it may not be at point 2. So, if the point is somewhere here, then there will be pressure drop further as the water is moving from point T to point this minimum point. So, if this is the point at which minimum pressure will occur at this point, then pressure will drop further from P. So, this minimum pressure will be P by rho g and function of the velocities. W1. Why we are considering C1 and W1? Because C1 and W1, say if I go to say this is point 1, right. So, the pressure at this point where we are expecting that the pressure the pressure at this point is minimum, and that minimum pressure is less than the pressure at point T, and which is the function of the velocities, that is C1 and W1. So, that is what we have written. So, it would be this minimum pressure will be definitely less than this particular less than the pressure of point E, and this is less than by this amount. So, we can write that P by rho g minus epsilon into C1 square by 2 g plus epsilon 2 into W1 square by 2 g. So, this is the quantity by which, so if we consider this is delta H, so this is the unit of head, this is the unit of head. So, if we consider that is the delta H, so try to understand the minimum pressure, I mean the point at which the pressure will be minimum, that is delta H less than the pressure at point P E, right. So, if we write further, so if we write this P minimum by rho g, and if we give this equation is number 2. Okay. So, what we can do, we can substituting P from 1 into 2. So, basically P by rho g, that is there, what we can do, we can substitute the value of P from this equation. So, this is equation number 1. Okay. So, if we substitute the value of P from equation 1 in equation 2, we can write P minimum by rho g equal to P 3 by rho g, P 3 by rho g plus V 3 square by 2 g plus H d T L by 2 g plus H d T L, okay, minus minus V 2 square by 2 g minus H e minus V 2 square by 2 g minus H e minus delta H. This delta H equal to epsilon into C 1 square by 2 plus epsilon 2 into W 1 square by 2. I shall write this is V 1 because I am following the notation V 1 throughout this analysis. So, I will be writing V 1, I will be writing V 1, I will be writing V 1 because I am using V 1 to denote the absolute velocity. So, I will be writing V 1. Okay. Why I am writing V 1? Because throughout the analysis I am I am using V to denote the absolute velocity component. Okay. So, if we rearrange it, we can write this is P 3 by rho g minus that V 2 square minus V 3 square by 2 g minus H d T L. Okay. So, I am writing these three components like this minus H e minus delta H, right. So, this is straightforward. See, try to understand, this is nothing but eta drop tube into V 2 square minus V 3 square by 2 g. So, if we write one step further, then we can write, so basically this is the energy recovery. So, this is the energy recovery which is nothing but eta dt into V 2 square minus V 3 square by 2 g. So, you know that this is energy recovery, actual energy recovery, that is nothing but the drop tube efficiency into the ideal energy recovery. Okay. So, now what we can write, that P minimum by gamma rho g equal to P 3 by rho g minus eta drop tube into V 2 square minus V 3 square by 2 g minus H e minus delta H, minus delta H. So, this is basically the energy balance in the suction side. Okay. So, if we try to go back to the slide wherein I mean the first slide, energy balance is suction side of the hydraulic reaction turbine. So, you know that suction side of the reaction turbine is the exit, is the inlet to the draft tube. So, energy balance in the suction side. So, if we write okay. So, what we can do from this particular discussion, we also now we can see when and where cavitation will occur. So, basically try to understand from this particular discussion I am writing that this P3, that point 3 which is taken h naught distance below the TRL, but this point is very close to the TRL. So, pressure at point 3 which can be taken as the atmospheric pressure, that is the PATM. So, from this particular expression P minimum by rho g, so we have identified the point at which the minimum pressure will be there, and that pressure is nothing but P3 by rho g minus eta dt into this minus H e minus delta H. From there we can tell that if P minimum is greater than P vapor, okay, or equal to, then cavitation will not occur. So, cavitation will not occur if the minimum pressure, we did not take the point E, we did not assume that at point T pressure will be minimum, we did not consider point 2 where pressure will be minimum, rather we have taken a particular point where the pressure will be minimum, and this point we have considered that it would be inside the runner, but towards the runner exit, and by doing this energy balance we have arrived at this expression that if P minimum by rho g or P minimum is greater than P v at the prevailing temperature of the working fluid, cavitation will not occur. Okay. So, if I now consider limiting case, if we consider limiting case, that is P minimum equal to P v, then we can write that P v by rho g and this P 3 by rho g minus eta dt V 2 square minus V 3 square by 2 g minus H e minus delta H. So, we can write this delta H, that is nothing but P 3 minus P v by rho g minus eta dt V 2 square minus V 3 square by 2 g minus H e. So, try to understand, this is the amount of head. So, this is nothing but this is equivalent to the net positive suction head which is available. So, I mean we have considered a limiting case, that P minimum equal to P v. From there we can write this delta H equal to P 3 minus P v by rho g minus eta dt into this minus H e. So, we can see that this delta H is the net positive suction head. So, if we divide this particular quantity by H, so if we can write this delta H. So, if we divide delta H by H, so 1 by H into this entire quantity, that is P 3 minus P v by rho g minus V 2 square minus eta dt V 2 square minus V 3 square by 2 g minus H e. So, this delta H by H, which is again a dimensionless term. So, this is also head, this is also head, and this is known as Thomas cavitation factor for the turbine. We have introduced this term when we have discussed about the cavitation in the context of the pump operation. Similarly, now we are introducing this term, that is Thomas coefficient, Thomas cavitation factor for the turbine, that is nothing but delta H by H. So, try to understand, higher the He, less, higher the He, less will be delta H. So, the net suction head, that would be less. So, higher the efficiency of the draft tube. So, higher the efficiency of the draft tube, delta H should be less. If delta H less, that is, what I can say, the turbine will be more prone to the cavitation. Okay. So, basically what I am telling you, the efficiency of the draft tube should not be very high. If it becomes very high, ideal energy recovery would be very high, but I mean suction, what we can see that it will be, it will invite another problem of having cavitation. This should not be very high, because if it becomes very high, we can place the turbine sufficiently above the tail race level, but again we are going to invite another problem of having cavitation. So, this quantity is known as Thomas cavitation factor. You know that we can write P3 in terms of P atmospheric pressure, because the point 3 that we have taken, this is very close to the tail race level. Since tail race level is open to atmosphere, so we can assume that P3 is almost equal to P ATM. Okay. So, we have arrived here from this particular discussion that Thomas cavitation factor for the turbine. We shall discuss about the significance of this particular term again in the context of the operation of the hydraulic turbine, and also we shall work out one numerical problem, and those those aspects we will discuss in the next class. So, with this I stop here today. Thank you.